How are you? Good. Thank you. Thank you very much. It has been a busy day from last night, bringing in the new year. The commissioner and I and the first dep, we joke about my motto: if you're going to hang out with the boys and the girls, you got to get up with the men and the women in the morning. And we have done that. And there's probably no more of a significant visit for this historical journey than coming here to the 103rd Precinct. You know my story. This is the precinct. I was arrested and beat as a child. And to return here and address a roll call with a group of mainly young officers and send a very clear and loud message. The commissioner and the deputy commissioner and I want to tell our police officers we have their backs. We have their backs to do their job. But there is a covenant that we are establishing. We're establishing this covenant where we would give them the tools and the support that they need. But we are also going to hold them to a high standard. We are not allowing abusive officers to remain among our ranks. Not only was I a captain in the police department, but my brother was a sergeant, and several of my first cousins followed me in. We know how difficult the job is. And we know there's a noise out there that you can't have public safety and justice. They are wrong. And we are going to prove them that they are wrong. The overwhelming number of New Yorkers, they want to see their police. They want their police to be part of their communities. The XO shared with us the amazing NCO officers and what is considered the 40 projects area and how well they are doing. That is the qualitative form of policing we are going to develop. We're going to incentivize promotions based on those officers that are not only good crime fighters, but good crime preventers, something you don't hear about often. But we also have this amazing partnership with the new councilwoman, Councilwoman Williams, who clearly will bring the balance in the conversation and make sure that we reach the standard that we're supposed to. So this councilwoman, unlike any other administration, my local elected officials will have their calls answered by city agencies. When this councilwoman calls this XO will get back to her. When this councilwoman calls the chancellor, his team will get back to her. I'm going to empower my local electeds because they're closest to the problems. Nothing personifies that more than the police and local electeds' relationships and how we create the partnership that I talked about on the campaign trail. This is a great moment for our city. This is a pivotal moment for our city as we battle COVID, as we battle crime, as we battle economy. There are people who have given up on New York. Well, I have something for you. Don't ever count our city out. We're on our way back, and we're back stronger, more equitable, and we're going to be a safe city to raise children and families. And so today is an important moment for me as I finally leave the demon right here on these streets, no longer living the trauma I experienced in this precinct, but back as the mayor in charge of the entire police department. And I made the right decision for a police commissioner. She made the right decision for a first deputy commissioner. And we're going to continue to build the right team to build that symbiotic relationship that all of us knew was possible. And we're going to reach the point to implement and carry it out. And so we have a lot of work to do. So we'll answer a few questions so we can get back to the job of making this city thrive again. Jose?
Okay. So Mayor Handel, obviously today's been a very police-focused day. Some of that wasn't on purpose. I mean, you witnessed an assault and then you had a police officer shot. But would you say once a cop, always a cop? This is your main focus as mayor?
Well, first of all, in honor of you, I wore my earring. And, and this was not a police-focused day. Of course, we responded, the commissioner and I responded to the officer who was shot. But the bulk of our day today with my executive team was really around COVID, school openings on Monday, and around how we're going to really deal with some of the economic challenges that we're having. COVID is front and center, and we're going to roll out some real executive orders, as well as look at what we must do to deal with the real issue of COVID and the perceived issue of COVID. And I'm going to continue to be steadfast. COVID is here. We spent $11 trillion, and it's still here. We can't spend another $11 trillion. We can't close down our city every time there's a new variant. We can't allow our children to keep missing school because a new variant comes about. COVID won't control us. We're not going to live in fear. We're going to have a city that's open, that's safe, and that's capable of protecting the families. And so that is the bulk of our day today. We met with our health team. They laid out a real pathway for it. We looked at how we're deploying tests, what we need to do around making sure people are vaccinated. We talked about something that's very significant. All of us are talking about COVID and why people are not taking vaccinations. How come we never brought to the table behavioral scientists? No one talked about the role of behavioral scientists to tell us what are the obstacles to people taking vaccines and why are certain communities less reluctant to do so. So I'm going to bring the full scope of the science community to solve this problem. It's not only doctors, but it's those that understand behaviors, and we're going to have an emergency meeting with some of our great men and women of academia to hear what behavioral scientists are saying we need to be doing to encourage people to take their vaccines.
Thank you for going back to me. Can you talk a little bit about your own personal protection? I know you rode the train today without an obvious detail. I don't know if there's any other cover. And you've spoken about this in the past, but will you carry your own gun or are you carrying your own? And now just to speak a little bit about I know you said you're safe around the media, but we can't be with you all the time. So speak a little bit about your own personal protection.
Well, when I was a cop, I used to carry an ankle holster, but, you know, I don't have it on, okay? So we're not carrying a gun. So let me say this. I informed the police department and told them how I want to move through the city. Because right now, it is not only, again, substantive, it's symbolic. And I can't continue to say to New Yorkers, my city is safe. You know, I need to symbolize that also as the mayor. And I shared how I wanted my detail to be, non-traditional. I don't want anyone holding doors for me. I don't want anyone holding my umbrella. I don't want anyone deifying me. You know, I'm an everyday New Yorker. The police department took that information and they made the determination how to carry out my needs and carry out their needs. And I trust them. I'm not questioning them. They're going to do that. They're going to keep me safe, and I feel safe in my city, and I'm going to continue to do so. If they feel the threat level is at a level that I need to have an additional protection because of a known terrorist threat or known threat to me, I'll follow their lead. I have complete trust in intel and to make sure they're going to do their job. And so, I just take walks sometimes. I don't want to live in a bubble. I want to enjoy my city the way I always enjoyed it. You know, so if I go to 50 Bonds, I don't want a bunch of cops hanging out with me in there. You know, so I'm just, you know, doing my job.
Mr. Mayor, in what way did Mayor de Blasio's administration not have cops back, and what specifically are you going to change?
Well, I am not looking backwards. Mayor de Blasio, after he finished and the ball dropped, we have a new administration, and we're not going to govern in the rearview mirror. I'm governing forward. Number one, cops did not feel encouraged to deal with the quality of life issues. You can't run a city where people can walk into a store, take whatever they want off the shelves, and walk out, and no one is responding. That's not acceptable. We need to be clear, when there are protests, there are things that can't be done to police officers that are there to protect people that I witnessed, and those officers can't be overly abusive. And so I think sending a clear message that officers are going to have the support from the chief executive and the police commissioner is crucial. We're going to set that standard. What Mayor de Blasio did in the past, that is the past. We are here in 2022. I'm focused on my administration, and I'm not critiquing his administration. That's an administration behind us. We're going to move forward as a city. Yeah, no, go ahead. You can follow up. Go ahead. Because I remember I promised I'm going to be nicer to the media. So.
Should we expect more arrests or tickets for quality of life crimes under you than under the previous administration?
No. Here's what we're going to do. And I shared this program before. I'm in communication with the police commissioners, with the police commissioner, and I'm going to be in communication with the DAs. That's what I wanted to say with the DAs. We can do it better. A person that's committed a theft, a petty theft inside a grocery store. He comes inside and he's arrested for that petty theft. Right there at the scene, if we identify this person has a mental health issue, or we do a briefing and find out this person is homeless or this person is hungry, why not from the precinct call a local CBO that's already on the list, call a local organization, and if that person is willing to go for those services, let's defer prosecution. Because we don't want someone going to Rikers with a mental health issue. That's wasting our time. That's a revolving door. So we can use the police and our local community-based organizations, mental health professionals, and identify those non-violent people and give them the services they need. Because if a person is stealing because they're hungry, we're not doing them a service by arresting them. We're doing them a service by connecting them to the resources in the city. That disjointedness is what's creating the revolving door of those people who are arrested 74 times for theft. That is not making sense. I say let's use the police, community-based organizations, mental health professionals, identify that person, give them the services they need, defer the prosecution so that person can have an opportunity instead of constantly using police as the only resource.
New Yorkers are working out for themselves amid this most recent COVID surge. What they're comfortable doing and not doing. You spoke about how you didn't want to live in a bubble when it comes to your personal safety. When you think about your personal health, what behaviors amid this surge do you change? What are you doing? Still living your life? Are you still being safe? What's the balance?
That's a great question, because we have to do that. I know if it leads, it bleeds, but we have to really be careful of the hysteria that many people are feeling. Because people are anxious, and they're really afraid. You know, COVID has basically taken over our lives, and every new variant cannot go through a new trauma, and so we're not doing what the southern states are doing, just totally disregard COVID. Don't have mask mandates, don't have vaccine mandates. No, we're saying let's be smart and practical, but we have to live our lives. So wearing that mask on the subway system, wearing that mask in the appropriate locations, hand washing, getting vaccinated and booster shots, doing just a smart thing. I got my booster shot. Doing those smart things will allow us to cycle out of COVID. And so when we do those smart things, social distancing, making sure that we are properly just taking the precaution, eating a healthier lifestyle, you know, to build our immune systems, to make sure we give the support to our nurses and doctors who are doing an amazing job. And so it is about, let's be practical, let's pivot, like COVID pivots on us. Let's make sure that we do more forceful things when it's spiking, like now. But let's do it in a balance that we can't shut down our city. We can't lose our economy, because that is as dangerous as COVID. We have over 1 million people who are behind in their rents. That's dangerous. We have people who are we're losing our companies. That's dangerous. And so we can't have just our eyes on COVID and our eyes not on our economy and our eyes not on the failures of children not being in school, not having the support they need. So this is a balance. And so my medical professionals are saying what they feel we need to do. I have my economists, my business leaders, and I need to take all of that together and create a safe, open city. And that's what I'm going to do. Yes, this experience here had a major impact on me becoming a police officer, and the trauma that's associated. PTSD is real. Reverend Daughtry played a major role in allowing me to turn that pain into purpose. I've said that over and over on the campaign trail. We have to turn pain into purpose. And because I turned that pain into purpose, I was able to become a captain, and I'm able to come back here today in front of this same precinct. And it's an American story that, many people are facing painful moments, and they could become purposeful moments. And it shaped my policing career. When I engaged and interacted with people, I always remembered that the power of being a public officer, public police officer, is so important. You have the right police officer with the right mindset and the right vision, he would transform an entire community. And that was my desire. But the wrong one can destroy the trust, and it would take years for it to recover. Today, the demon is off my back. That's 61 years. Hey, Sally. Good, same.
One, could you talk a little bit about how you felt being inside today, and what, looked different? Is it the first time back since that incident? And secondly, on an off-topic question, Mayor de Blasio did not sign or veto the non-citizen voting bill. He's leaving it to you, and I was wondering what you plan to do.
First coming back, this is my second time coming back. I returned here when we did the video for my commercial. It was the first time walking into the precinct. I was, I may have not realized it, but I was really intimidated of walking back inside the precinct. And I intentionally avoided this precinct throughout my entire policing career. When we did the video, I just made up my mind and said, you need to go back in there. And so today, it felt better, walking back in, looking around the place. I remember that desk. I remember how small it was. I just remember the whole layout on that floor. And, it was just a reminder. But I really felt good about walking back in today, unlike I felt when I walked in when we were doing the commercial filming. It was very, very impactful at that moment. And just brought back a lot of memories. But today I feel great. I don't know, it's because I knew that the new commissioner would not let anything happen to me, so I just felt safer. And we're going to look at the bill. I think it's the one part of the bill I'm concerned about, the 30-day part. If someone is in the city for 30 days, they have the right to vote. That's problematic for me. I understand the importance of local elections, but to give that power to someone that's here for 30 days, I think that's a problem. And I need to, in the next couple of days, make a determination what we're going to do. Julia. Quite well, Julia.
You talked about earlier deploying more resources to combat violent crime. Is
Well, it's the commissioner is doing an amazing job of analyzing the needs to combat crime. She has an amazing partner here with the first deputy commissioner over 30 years of experience. And I must say, his dad was a transit cop, like I was, and the leader of the Hispanic Society at the time. I think the two of them, with our chief of department, they're going to sit down and they're going to identify what the needs are. She's going to sit down with me and share with me what the needs are, and we're going to give her the needs so that we can bring down crime. And that is what she has been doing. Even when she wasn't on the job, every time I reached out to her, she was at one police plaza or at some meeting talking to someone or just being engaged, just chopping at the bits to get at the helm. And so she will give a full briefing on what's needed, and I'm going to make sure she gets the resources that she needs.
And then in terms of resources at the end of the presser at the hospital today, there was a mention that the dormitories were full, and that's why this officer had to sleep in his car, where obviously he was left vulnerable. Why were they full? Is that something you're concerned about, you want to look at?
Well, what normally happens is that when you have a big detail, the West Indian Day Parade detail, the 4th of July detail, the New Year's Eve detail, normally you're going to have an unprecedented number of officers who need to sleep in the dorms, because now they're going from doing the detail to doing that quick turnaround. And so traditionally you won't have that volume in there. But that happens from time to time. There were days I had to sleep in my car because the dorms were full. And he's now a chief. He's here. He used to take up all the space because he's so big, Chief Williams. You know, you were too afraid to tell him to get up running off the couch. You know, so that's what normally happens. But traditionally, the dorms are not filled. You know, officers are there. If they had an arrest overnight, they would rest up, or if they got an early detail in the morning. But traditionally, you won't have that problem. Cops don't traditionally have to sleep in their cars. The dorms would normally accommodate them. Hey, what's up, Michael? How are you?
Good, good. Good to see you. So in your speech this morning, you said the first 100 days, the thing's going to be get stuff done. So what are the concrete goals you hope to get accomplished in the first 100 days, and how do you hope to get them accomplished?
We're going to roll out a comprehensive. Each time we tick off those events that we're going to do, we have a comprehensive 100-day plan with concrete things that we're going to do in those 100 days. And we're going to start rolling them out. Our comms team is going to roll them out so you can specifically see what our goals are, each one of those 100 days, what we want to accomplish. And we have to start right away because we're day one. You know, so you'll get them all. And you know, you always get all of our information before we get it. Between the two of you, you know.
Last question.
Yes.
Would you like to see the NYPD budget increase in this coming fiscal year?
Well, one thing I'm sure of, well, my conversation with London Bree from San Francisco, who at one time talked about defunding police, she's now calling for a state of emergency. I'm seeing what's happening in Chicago with the mayor of Chicago, Mayor Lightfoot, is stating that from the conversation of defund police, she's now asking for the federal government to give more. When I speak to my mayors from across the country, they say, Eric, you struck the right tone from the beginning on what's needed to make sure that we use whatever resources our agencies are receiving, that it goes to keeping our city safe and justice. And so I am not going to play the numbers game. I'm going to have my commissioner tell me what she needs. And if she says, Eric, I need $1 more, I'm going to give her $1 more. If she says, Eric, I could do it with $1 million less, we're going to take the $1 million less. But we're also going to partner with our councilwomen to have a real crisis management team program. The goal is not responding to crime. The goal is preventing crime. Dyslexia screening. 30% of the inmates are dyslexia. So how about doing dyslexia screening? You know, so let's be more crime preventive. That's what we need to do. And this is the partnership that we're going to develop. And so I'm not part of the slogan people who say, let's just come up with a bumper sticker slogan. Public safety is not a bumper sticker. Public safety is understanding what's needed to get the job done. We must be safe as a city. The prerequisite to prosperity, and I know you all can finish it because you heard me say it all the time, is public safety. Stays the same. We're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. We're going to be a safe city. Thank you. Captain, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Commissioner, thank you.